Okay, so Trendelenburg again, going back. Now this is the test for your gluteus medius muscle. Okay, so go ahead and face me, sir. Okay, good. All right, so perfect view from behind. So what's going to happen here is if you have a positive Trendelenburg, go ahead and raise this leg, sir. Good. And if his pelvis dips downwards, if this pelvis dips downwards, that's a positive for gluteus medius weakness of the opposite, of this side. When he raises this and this thing dips down, it means that his opposite, which is where my hand is actually weak, and that's Trendelenburg test. Go ahead and take a seat. Okay. Next is your Thomas test. So this is your hip flexion tightness or contracture. So you want to have the patient do this number. Go ahead and lay down for me, sir. Okay. Good. So no, well, as providers down the road, don't worry about making your uniform dirty. So you want to, let's say we're going to use the right. Okay. We're going to have this patient bend. This is already completely out of the equation. So what you want to do right now from this point, okay, is slowly let go of this, or bring it to extension, bring the hip to extension, and if the patient cannot go further than this. If the patient holds it right here, it is positive for hip flexion tightness. If the patient can go all the way down, that's good. Now, you want to make sure if you come all the way down and it starts to kick, patient starts to kick on his own, he is compensating, okay? And that means the hip flexors are tight. Okay, so that's Thomas test. Don't get confused with the Thompson. We'll go over that later on. Okay, next is your Faber's test. Okay, thank you for sitting up. Now, Faber's test is broken down to flexion, abduction, external rotation, hence the word Faber, F-A-B-E-R. Okay, so Faber is done by, again, go through the motions. Flexion, abduction, external rotation. Go ahead and lay down. Boom. There we go. Okay, so let's do that again. So patient actually is supposed to be laying down for this. Okay, so go ahead and flexion, abduction, external rotation. While you're doing that, you use one hand on the opposite pelvis and one hand over the thigh, or over the medial section of the thigh. What you want to do is you want to push down, and the patient starts to feel pain at the testing site, which is the right side right here. It is positive for SI pathology, or sacroiliac pathology. That means the SI section is either broken, the ligaments right there are actually torn, and therefore that's indicative for the Faber's test. Good. Next, we're going to go for a log roll test of perfect position, staying in this position. I'm going to use this leg right here. So log roll test is just basically, as it is, just trying to roll a log, go back and forth, or externally and internally rotate the log, and you're testing for femoral neck fractures. Okay, not acetabular fractures. Okay, there's another test for that. So after that, we have the piriformis test. So we'll use this. Go ahead and sideline for me, sir. Towards the right. Okay, good. So no, it's okay. You bend this because we're testing for. Okay, relax, bend. Good. So piriformis test. Okay, you could do this. I'm going to stay right here just to show what section are we actually testing. Okay, go ahead and move a little bit more. Normally we're supposed to be here, but again, like I said, it'd be best to stay right here so you could catch the patient. So you want to take this patient, the leg down here, and then push down medially. Okay, and then if the patient cannot sustain this position, and it starts to hurt at this section, and at the same time radiating pain, that's indicative for your piriformis tightness. Hence, piriformis test. Okay. So go ahead and lay down on your back again. Good. Next is going to be scour test. So again, I'm going to use this leg, but again, like I said, please stay at this testing site just in case for doing your PCL. Scours is actually flexing the hip and flexing the knee in this position. And what you want to do, okay, is apply an actual force or downward force on the knee. So you're sustaining this. And at the same time, you're actually doing what you call your internal and external rotation. While you're doing this, I'd like you to abduct the thigh and then adduct the thigh while you're doing this, because you're actually loading actual stress over the acetabulum. This is where you have your acetabular fracture. Okay, so push down here and then fan it out into abduction and adduction. Okay, so that's your scour test. Next is hamstring flexibility test. Okay, so it's as easy as pretty much your straight leg raising. So what you want to do is you want to take your leg up. Okay, we use this one. Take your leg up. Okay, So at a certain point, if the patient feels pain, ow, it hurts right here, okay, that's fine. We'll take it back down a little bit, and then we dorsiflex. Yeah, and if the patient starts to complain of tightness all the way while sustaining this, this is indicative for positive tight hamstrings. Okay, is that 10 minutes? No, good. Okay, so we're done with the special test of the for the lower extremity. Now we're going to go down to the knee. But before that, let's go ahead and identify the structures of the knee. Okay, so with the knee, you want to make sure that you're also noticing any genovalgum. Okay, genovalgums, again, like the letter L. Genovarum, which is the opposite, which is bow-legging. Okay, and then you got your genu recurvatum, which is pretty much like once you hyperextend, this bows down this way, and that's your recurvatum. Okay, and then also you want to notice any changes, of course, your bone, your ecchymosis, your swelling, bruising at any point. And then relax. Okay, now you also want to note the palpable areas again. Okay, so you got your patella right here. Okay, you got your tibial tuberosity, where your quads insert. You have your fibular head right here. Okay, then you got on this side right here is your lateral joint line. Okay, you got your medial joint line right here. Of course, in the joint lines you have your epicondyles and condyles. So you got your femoral condyle right here, and then you get your tibial condyles down here. Okay, so with patellar tracking, okay, this is just pretty much just doing the J sign that they're talking about to make sure that this is actually spinning in a mild J form, just to make sure that the quads are actually firing the right way. They're not firing more on the left, or firing more medially or laterally. Okay, so of course, again, VMO definition, you want to make sure that you're also noticing that the vastus medialis oblique, which is that teardrop muscle right here, go ahead and contract. Okay, there we go. That's your VMO right there. Go ahead and contract this section too as well. There we go. For better clarification, this is your VMO right here. You want to see that this one is actually symmetrical, and at the same time, this is not actually atrophied or atrophied. Okay, so next is palpation. Okay, so we identify the structures. Now we palpate for everything else. Now you get, again, going back again, you get your lateral joint line. To find your joint lines, if you're having problems with it, go ahead and bend the knee a little bit, okay? And then go ahead and feel, there's going to be a separation of each bone. You got your tibia and you got your femur right here. You'll start to feel that little bump. When you feel that bump, that's pretty much the joint line. Same thing with the medial side. When you come to the side right here, you would actually feel that divot right here, and that's your medial joint line, okay? Then, let's see. Like I said earlier, fibular head, so it's the most prominent bone right here in the side. You could easily feel this. So the moment you bring your hands right here, boom, that's it right there. And then you got your collateral ligaments, okay? It's not a bone structure, but it's part of the PCL, so we'll just go for what they want. Okay, so your collateral ligaments are pretty much all located right here. If I draw my finger, this is where your lateral collateral ligament is. And as you come down here, your medial collateral ligament is right here. Now, you could easily feel this by doing a figure 4. If you cross this, that was your knee, huh? Right here, you would actually feel it. It's going to jump out. So that's your medial collateral ligament. Okay. And then next would be, let's see, the IT band. 10 minutes? Okay. IT band is pretty much right here. Okay. You can also do this while extending. It's once you start to track it or trace it from here, if you feel it continuous going down, that's your IT band right there. Okay. Next, you got you have to identify all your bursas. Okay. So you got your suprapatellar bursa, infrapatellar bursa, which infra means underneath, supra means over, and then you get patellar bursa, which is pretty much over it. Okay. You also got one of the more important structures that you want to note is the pes anserine bursa right here. Okay. Pes anserine bursa is pretty much from the tibial tubercle, okay? You just come down about maybe 1, 2, 3 centimeters, about this far, and this is where your Sargent's muscles connect. And just in case they ask your Sargent's, it's sartorius, semitendinosus, and gracilis. All 3 muscles insert right here and makes up your pes anserine section. Okay. All right. So let's see, pes anserine bursa, iliotibial band. Okay. So and then of course right here, this is your patellar tendon. Okay, so this structure. Okay, good. Now, only very few movements are required for the knee. Go ahead and take a seat for me, sir. Good. So you only got your flexion and extension. So as basic as this is how it goes. So this is the knee part. All you have to do right now is just extend your leg, take it out, and then fold back in. Good. That's range of motion. Next is muscle testing. All you have to do is just fight against my hand. Go ahead and kick out. That's flexion. You're resisting flexion. Now you have to resist extension. So go ahead and take it back in. Good. And good.